What's up, everybody? Welcome to The Road Less Traveled. I'm your host, Kenndra, and I am super excited about today's episode because we are going to discuss a topic that I know everybody loves, and I know you love it because it's something that we all want more of, and that is money. But I don't want to tell you how to spend your money. Today, I want to talk to you about how to invest, how to save, and how to really secure your financial future and think about retirement. And it's only right that on The Road Less Travel, we discuss how to get them coins together. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And I have a very special guest with me. His name is Stanley Moore, and he is a senior benefits analyst with the Financial Crisis Prevention Center located right here in the DC metro area. Now, since 2009, Stanley has served the public and private sectors through individual and group counseling. Now, he has been an invited guest of groups for the IRS, FAA, and DC Department of Behavioral Health. Stan, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Kenndra. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Now, okay, so it's April, and a lot of people are getting their refund checks back, and they're excited to spend it. And if I be completely honest with you, the irresponsible part of me wants to go and spend my check on a bomb vacation or food or just little things that will not grow in value in any kind of way. So help me and help the viewers think of what are smart ways that we can invest our money into retirement instead of spending it on something that's not worth it.
Well, the first thing you want to do is save your money, because we got to fight that urge to just let it burn a hole in our pocket. Mm-hmm. Second thing, it comes before the saving with regards to taxes. We want to actually not get that big refund in the first place. Okay. The first part of refund is refund. You've overpaid taxes. You're not getting anything new. You're just getting back what you overpaid. Okay. So properly managing your taxes is the key. Then saving it, and then once you save it, you want to get a good return on it. So three things we can do.
Okay, awesome. Now, so just tell me, what is the difference between a 401k and a Roth IRA?
401k is always offered through your job. Mm-hmm. You have some other ones, 457s, 403bs. Basically anything with numbers and letters just means it's specially designated for retirement savings. Roth IRA is the kind where you put money in after paying taxes, so it comes to you tax-free. Okay. The other type, 401k or traditional IRA, means you put money in pre-tax, and then you pay taxes with it coming out. Okay, so do you favor one over the other, or do you recommend, for millennials, is there? You actually want to have both. Both, okay. Because it just comes into the tax treatment.
I see, okay. So now when it comes to stocks, people are always kind of confused, or not always confused, but I know for me, I don't know how many stocks I should invest in at one time. How should I spread my money out over the market? What would you recommend?
Well, Kenndra, I specialize in safe alternatives to stock investing. So really, you don't even want to talk about stock investing if you're not saving any money. Okay. It's similar, here in the DC area. Yeah. We got this nice new casino across the river.
That's
and stocks, you have nothing guaranteed. Okay. So it's kind of like going over to the casino with your money. You don't have anything in savings. You don't have any nest egg at home. So it's going to be a whole different stress level if you're at the casino when you don't have anything saved. It's especially if you lose. Yeah. Versus I got my nest egg. Now I can go and take some excess and make some things happen.
I see. Okay. So with a 401k, I was reading that they recommend that you contribute maybe between 10 to 20% into your 401k. But I guess that's a safe amount to do. But what if someone, say, only has a small amount they can invest, maybe 3 to 6% of their income? How do you effectively invest a small amount of money? Get the best out of that if it's only 3 to 6%?
You got to first be faithful in the small things before you can grow to the bigger things. Okay. So it comes back to that saving habit. If you don't get that habit of saving, everything else is going to fall apart. Okay. And so many of us, we never get that habit of saving down. We're looking, where can I flip my money? Where can I get the best return? I'm why don't you just try holding on to something without even worrying about return?
So how do you encourage people to save? What are some of the things that you encourage people to do to help them save more? What?
Well, one, I just start off small. You don't have to. What's that saying? Rome wasn't built in a day. You just pick up, one thing. If all you can do is $5 at one time, start with $5 and get good at it. Then increase to 10. If you're at a point where you can save $100, every week or every check, you start there. Some people are at the place in the income where they can do $500, they can do $1,000, and really then once you got the habit down, now you can start looking at what percentage am I at. For people, just starting the workforce, maybe 20 or 21, you can get by with about 10%.
Okay.
But for most people, you're looking at 15 to 20% that you want to set aside for savings, including your benefits, life insurance, health, all those other things. So the numbers get pretty big, but it's all about the end goal.
What would you say should be the top, like, 2 to 3 financial priorities we should have at this moment so that our 80-year-old self will be happy when we get to be 80? Like, what should we do?
Right. Well, first, it's something that nobody's really thinking about right now, but properly managing your taxes.
Okay.
Making sure you're not overpaying, and that you're also lowering your taxes to the legal minimum. For most people, they could get another $2,000 to $10,000 back on the taxes right now.
Okay.
So once we get all our money in our hands, now we want to save it. And then
No, wait. You said you can get $2,000 to $3,000 back.
$2,000 to $10,000.
$2,000 to $10,000.
Some people even more.
Oh my gosh! How do you?
Right.
How like? How?
Right.
How sweat?
Okay. Right. How you can do that? Just having a home-based business, small home-based business. So many people aren't thinking about that. They think about getting a second job. Then you kill all your time. You're paying more taxes on top of that. With a small home-based business, it opens the door to over 200 tax deductions.
Oh wow!
So many things like your rental mortgage,
Yeah.
your cell phone bill, your home internet service. Your mileage, eating out, traveling, even saving for your own retirement could be tax deductible. But it just starts with that one key, and it's part-time for as little as a few hours a week can open the door.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's good stuff to know.
Yes.
Good stuff to know. Okay, so I do kind of want to switch the topic and talk about something that nobody likes to discuss, which is death. I mean, it's something that's inevitable. It's going to happen, and life insurance is something that's extremely important for us to have, but a lot of people aren't very familiar with it or knowledgeable and may not even have coverage. So can you explain to me the difference between term and permanent insurance?
Yes, two types. You got term, you got whole life. One is temporary, one is permanent. So if it was the world of housing, Kenndra, the term is like renting. So if you're renting, at the end of a lease, two things got to happen. One, you either got to get out, or you start a new lease and the price always goes up.
Okay.
If you're owning, which is where you get the permanent or whole life, now you're building up some equity. If it was using that same housing analogy, and that's money you can pull out and use for yourself. So whole life insurance builds up cash value, which is tax-free money you can pull out and use for yourself. Term is basically it's a bet between you and the company. Okay, if you die within 10 or 20 years, whatever that term is, okay, somebody gets paid, and it's not you. You don't get paid for term. It's okay if something else. So it's not the worst. Rent, you got a roof over your head, but where you want to be, you want to own. And that way, if I got equity, now I can take that money out, and basically you become your own bank. So if you need to do a renovation project or you need money at a certain time, now I can come take from my cash value versus going to a bank, because right now it's not the easiest to get a loan, and then you just worry about paying yourself back.
I see. So you recommend whole life insurance?
Yes. Yeah, there's a place for both, but especially the younger you are, whole life just does so much more. It's putting your money into an asset. And for so many young people, we look to put our money into assets that depreciate. We're looking for cars, we're looking for clothes, we're looking for vacations, things that give us nothing back, maybe a little swag on the street. But, when you look on paper, all people that make it, they've started putting their money into some assets. And now, especially the whole life now, that can fund, if you want to get into real estate, put a down payment for a home, so many things that are going to add to your bottom line. And then also when you start looking for generational wealth, people don't really think about, okay, if something happens to me, what happens to my kid? And especially if you, from this point of view, who's going to be taking care of them? Okay, what do you want that person to have? Do you want them just to settle for public schools, or would you like your children to go to private school or have the option to go to private school? So it's all about options. And right now, if you're not saving anything or thinking about your future, you're not going to have many good options.
Now, can you tell me a little bit about the program that your job currently offers, the Pay Yourself First?
Right, that is our offering that counts as a home-based business.
Okay.
And yes, Pay Yourself First is very exciting, because not only does it count as a home-based business, which opens the door for all those tax deductions, but it's just access to discounts.
One point that you had made prior to this interview, you had stated that, and this was something I kind of felt a little convicted on at one point in life, that some people spend more on their cable bill than they do actually saving money per month, which to me was just absolutely crazy, because it's true. And you're spending money on a cable bill so you can watch sports or a movie channel or whatever the case is, but we're not thinking far enough ahead about our retirement and our future.
If you're hungry, you're behind on rent, mortgage, they're not going to do anything. They're going to say, okay, you got cancer. We're sorry, we'll leave you alone this month, but next month we'll be, when can we expect payment?
Right.
Versus, having those things that are going to bring you money. And, so disability insurance.
Yeah.
If I go out sick or hurt, can't work, rather than, having to hit up on my friends and family or, add me to the prayer list at church. Or GoFundMe page.
Yeah.
These are things that people rely on, but then you look, okay, what was your cable bill? How many cell phones are you paying for? Cut people out. Your 21-year-old kid, they got to get their own responsibility. Your sister, your cousin, you got to look at what's going on with you, and just a number of other things. Just you gotta learn to save for yourself, because so many, especially if you're a giver, so many people that give, they're looking after their kids, they're looking after their sister, they're looking after older parents. And okay, if you're holding all these people up, if something happens to you, now we got like 8 people that are, really hurt. So sometimes you gotta learn how to say no to the right things, and then say yes to, okay, putting away some money and leaving it there.
Stan, thank you so much for coming to the show today. You gave some really great information, and I hope that the viewers really got something out of it. Can you let them know how they can reach you?
Everyone in DMV, love to hear from you. You can get your free consultation. Anybody interested in lowering their taxes by $2,000 to $10,000, maybe more, and that's anywhere in the country, you can check out this website right here. Also, you can email me, text me, call me. Love to hear from you.
All right, sounds good. That wraps it up for this month's edition of The Road Less Traveled. Thank you guys so much for viewing. Make sure you go ahead and like the video, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment. Let me know what you guys were thinking. And thank you so much. Once again, faith over fear. Peace.